thank everybody for coming out. We'll ask these students to lead us in the pledge tonight.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, should you please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. First up on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
Move we approve the agenda.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next is recognition, Dr. Austin.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Chairman. As you know, we typically recognize students who have participated in the Kingsport Times News write-on and drawing card contest. And what we typically do is we send certificates to the schools for the children after this meeting. What we've done is we contacted the families to see if the children would be interested in coming in and helping lead the Pledge of Allegiance, and also to recognize them with a certificate here at the meeting tonight. So, Mr. Kidwell, if you want to come down and present certificates as I read off names, that would be great. All right, from Elydale Elementary, we have Cooper Beeler. Not everybody's here, but Cooper Beeler. Over here, you're taking pictures, Dr. Franklin. We have Ava Hensley, Adam Hollingsworth,
Get closer like you like.
Jessica Lowe, and Alexandra Olson. From Pennington Middle, we have Cody Lane. Madison Wolf. From Elk Knob Elementary, for the Kingsport Times News drawing cards, Ashley Lewis, Logan Light, Bentley Woodard,
Been over.
and Allie Wyman. From Flatwoods Elementary, we have Samantha Cabin, Hudson Neff,
Another big one.
and Hadley Price. Go ahead. And from Jonesville Middle, we have Noah Cabin. So if you all don't mind, if you all come up here, show everybody your certificate, because the thing that I want to recognize is not only the efforts of our students, but also the efforts of our parents in supporting the children and doing this, but also our teachers and directing students to use art as a way to express what they're learning. So again, congratulations, students. Certainly appreciate you being here tonight, helping us with the Pledge of Allegiance, and thank you for what you do. Next on the agenda, we've got school board recognition. As you can see, we've got a few things that have been sent by schools. So first of all, thank you to school board for what you do. But also, this is school board clerk and school board deputy clerk appreciation week. So Ms. Van Zandt, if you'll come down, and Ms. Bergen, if you'll come up, that would be great. We could not do school board meetings without these two ladies. That is needless to say, from putting together what you see on board docs to putting together packets and the information that we get out to the public. These ladies do an incredible job on a regular basis, so we want to say thank you for what you do. And Mr. Chair, if you want to hand that.
You're all
Great to be in a new chair.
Ms. Bird.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for each school board member, we also have a certificate. We'll just pass those out on stage, and all this we'll distribute later. But we really appreciate what the school board does on a regular basis. They put up with a lot of stuff, including me on a regular basis, which goes a long way. But sincerely appreciate what you do from my seat, but also from, as you can see, from the school's perspective. So with that being said, thank you, school board members.
Mr. Hines let me know he didn't have to bend over to take pictures with children. Up next is public comment. Do we have any public comment tonight? If not, we'll move to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move the consent agenda consisting of approval of minutes from the January 5th, 2017 regular meeting, and the January 23rd, 2017 special call meeting, the budget work session, and approval of claims and expenditures.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is reports to the board. Do we have any reports from board members?
Yes, I've got, and I may go ahead and roll my comments in, so let's get it over with.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to start out and congratulate the students on their work. In many cases, I'm the one that cuts the pictures and the articles out of the paper and brings them down. So it's nice to see faces with the names. And congratulations. Keep it up. I'd like to thank Mr. Carver for attending the support staff communications committee in my stead. I had a doctor's appointment that day. I attended the special ed advisory committee on Tuesday, and at your place I've also given you a brochure that was developed by the group, and we heard a program on programs that the Lonesome Pine Office and Youth can offer. I'd also like to thank everyone for the goodies that you see in front of us. I appreciate it. And also for the ones that we'll be recognizing later that have applied for the early retirement, I want to thank you for your service for Lee County Schools.
Any other board comment?
I have some comments to make on St. Charles Elementary School. Talked with the principal up there, talked with the teachers that are just really excited with their new principal, and she informed me that Isabella Mendoza, she got the spelling bee. She was 4th in the county spelling bee, and that the St. Charles students are participating in the math-a-thon. She said that's going really good. And the following students from St. Charles Elementary participated in the 4-H Share the Fun talent show. They were Braylon Shirks, Kennedy Woodard, Destiny Whiffen, Eli Penix, Cadence Seals, Eva Adams, and Devlin McAllister. And with Pennington Middle, Ms. Collier sent me something, but I wasn't able to retrieve it. I do know that Hunter Scott from Pennington Middle won the county spelling bee, so he will advance. I'll try to get a hold of him to see if he wanted to come tonight, so maybe we can recognize him at the next meeting. But there's a lot going on. I know, Dr. Austin, there's something that the Pennington Middle got to participate in. Was it yesterday and today?
Yes, ma'am. The TVA is working in Pennington currently along the river, and they've been there doing an archaeological dig, and I think WCYB was there yesterday with some coverage of our students working with their staff as they've gone through that. So an incredible opportunity for our students and also for our community. So.
Any other board comment? If not, next is a report of the division superintendents.
The first thing I was going to say is, students, if you want to go back to your families, you're more than welcome to do that. From here on, it's procedural stuff. So certainly appreciate you being here tonight. You're welcome to stay, but from here it's a lot of numbers and fun stuff for adults, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Cleared the room.
Cleared it out pretty good.
You're welcome. Stay. Okay, the first thing that I've got is school with highest percentage of attendance for the month of January, and we don't have it up on the screen over here, but Pennington came in second with a percentage of 94.3%, and St. Charles is first this month with the month of January with 94.5. Now, just a little bit of perspective, going to what Ms. Fannin was just alluding to. Last month they had an attendance rate of 90.3 and they raised it almost 4 points this month. So incredible efforts by that community, the family and the students to get children there. And again, incredible leadership by the administration as well as the teachers. So certainly appreciate the efforts being made there. Next up is our enrollment update. We are currently sitting at approximately 3,026 students as of January 31st. Now I say approximately as of January 31st, that was the number, but of course that changes daily. Our average daily membership for the year is sitting at 33.81. From a budget perspective, we budgeted 3,030 students, so we're still a little above. So when March 31st gets here, if this continues to hold as is, we will get a little more state money than what we had budgeted for, which is a good thing. But still looking into what is happening, why are we experiencing such fluctuations, sometimes month to month. That's the next thing on the agenda is our operations update. There's a list of all the maintenance repairs that happened the last week of December, as well as in the month of January, and as you can see, it's a laundry list of stuff, which plays into our facility study and a variety of other things coming up with just maintenance items that we're going to have to address in this budget cycle. And the last thing that I want to mention is just an update more or less to parents and also to board members that one of the tremendous things that we have in this division is technology, and one of those is the Parents Power School Parent Portal. That is at any time a parent can log into Power School and see their student's grades. Another feature of that is the student can do the same thing. So this is a feature that's not very well utilized at this point. We want to make sure that we're getting that out there in order to increase communication between teachers and parents and schools and parents so that we continue to do the best we can for our students. And again, that's just an update and a reminder. And if you look on Board Docs, we've put the link on Board Docs so that way if somebody's on here looking at the agenda, they can get to that website fairly quickly. It's also linked on our website. So that's it for me, Mr. Chairman.
Next on the agenda is unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Action and discussion items. Subject A, action if any to approve school board policy GCBD-BR staff attendance. Would you like to comment on that?
This is an update to a policy that was approved by the board in September. This is a policy that we put in place that changed the dollar amount for the payouts for sick leave as well as vacation days. This amendment to the school board policy is to take into account death in service. If we have a staff member, currently it's set up that if you retire, then we will pay out up to $10,000 for sick leave, days that are accumulated, and up to $5,000 for vacation. As amended, as proposed, this would take into also account death in service for anybody who's in good standing. So if somebody passes away, then we could pay out their sick days to the employee's beneficiary for both vacation and for vacation and sick days that those employees have accumulated. Administration recommends approval.
Do we have a motion for subject A?
I move that we approve the school board policy GCBD-BR staff attendance.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next subject will be action if any to designate funds for distribution per school board policy GCBD-BR1 staff attendance incentive.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is a policy that was also approved in September where we have incentivized attendance that if an employee has been with us for 3 years and has at least 60 sick days, then they can basically request to cash in 20 days at a $60 per day rate. And we have administratively looked at where we are with expenditures, and again, going back to revenue conversations with the holding as is with enrollment, that we're recommending earmarking $72,000 for this incentive as enumerated in this policy.
Do we have a motion for subject B? I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just something you said now, they don't have to take it if they don't want to?
Correct. They don't have to cash out days, but it's, the policy spells out if from now until, if approved through February 28th, it would be based on seniority when the requests come in. So the most senior staff would get the first priority of those funds. And then from there, there's another window of time that's designated. I think it's first come, first served through the 8th of March. And so we've set aside some times, but no, it does not mean you have to do it. It's just if you've got more than 60 days and you want to cash that in, then you may.
Any other discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, subject C, action if any to approve a contract with Elgin Dental.
I'm gonna move and ask that we table that. I think there's some questions about it. We need to get those decided before we vote on such a thing.
Motion's been made to table that. Section C, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is subject D, approval of Lee County Career Technical Center field trip to Virginia Beach, state of Virginia, DECA competition.
Excited to report that our DECA team has qualified to compete in the state competition, and accordingly, with it being an overnight field trip, requires school board approval. This is an exciting opportunity for our students, and administration recommends approval.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the field trip.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Up next is board comments. Do we have any board comments?
I would like to mention that those of you that have been here since 5 o'clock and saw the slideshow and heard the presentation by the gentleman that came from the consulting group, I mean, obviously that's a lot to take in. It's a lot to consider. It's not something that you can just take lightly. So I think this board's committed to trying to do, I know we're committed to trying to do something to provide better facilities and a better education to our children. Obviously, those are big numbers. I don't know what we can do out of what was proposed or you know, what we'd be able to get assistance on and be able to do something, but it seems like at some point that with the condition that these schools are in, because every one of them are leaking, some worse than others, we're gonna have to do something. And just putting Band-Aids on the buildings year after year and spending that money, then we do it the next year and the next year, that's not getting us anywhere. So I know some of these proposals, and I could see some people's faces when they were unveiling certain options and different things, and you probably saw my face the same way, but because some of it was pretty scary. But we do want to try to do something to make it better, and we want to also be financially reasonable about it. We can't bankrupt the citizens of the county over schools, but we need to do something, and we want to try to do something. We want your all's input, a lot to think about, but be thinking about it and let us know, okay?
Any other board comments?
I want to echo Mr. Hines' comments there and just realize that if you don't invest in your children, your county will end up with nothing. They're the best resource we have, and it just makes sense to put money. And sometimes you have to risk and go out and do something on faith, and that is a lot of money. It's more than I can really comprehend, but at some point in time, we have to either commit or not commit. If you don't commit, our buildings are going to fall in. It's just, go take a look at them if you don't believe what I'm saying. I mean, you've got roofs on buildings that are collapsing. You've got kids in there, so I agree.
I agree 100% with both what they're saying. That's one of the main reasons I ran to be here, is to try to help do something with the buildings, and it's not easy to do. I can tell you right now, it's not easy to do. One guy told me that when I ran, he said that, and he was a former board member, he said it's the hardest job I've ever done. And I'm about inclined to believe him. But I do want to make mention of some kids at Thomas Walker, and I wanted to make mention of the spelling bee stuff, but I didn't get it all done. We'll try to do better next time. I think kids trying to get them to come up here just like we did tonight. I think that's a good thing. These kids at Thomas Walker made first team all conference, and I want to recognize them. Dawson Lee, this is football players. Logan Hounshell, Harley Black, and Jake Davis. Any other board comments?
I'd like to thank whoever that lavished us with all these gifts. Thank you all. It's very appreciated.
Just, I can't help myself, you know that now. I'd like to hear an input from the citizens on what you saw with the facility study, or what you will be hearing on the facility study, and hear your opinion once the word gets out.
And we will have a work session on the 23rd. It will be public comment time. If anybody wants to come and comment on what they heard tonight, we'll be glad to hear it, and we want to hear it.
What time is that?
6 o'clock, 23rd. I know myself, I tried to, I sent out emails to teachers, principals. Thank everybody for coming. Facebook, I know it's a good thing, but it can be, a hot spot for people to talk, but I try to invite people. And I think everybody else is trying to, just to get input from the people, because that's what it takes. Anybody else? Board comments? If not, do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel. It's Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1. Request to release a student from compulsory attendance pursuant to the Code of Virginia 2.1-254B1, and to discuss student discipline. That's Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A2.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now in closed session.